Good morning, everyone. So, back to your Saturday special. Today, we are going to talk about curiosity. Being curious. Being curious is the most basic, you can say, the quality that will help you to learn anything that you want to learn, remember, enjoy, understand, and everything. Now you must be thinking, what is being curious or what is curiosity? I'll tell you. What is curiosity? Curiosity is when you feel, when you when you realize, when you're eager to know that how or why things happen. When you're eager to know, you would really want to know why, how the fan moves, how the electricity is produced, how the car works, how such a small gadget, a mobile phone, can do so many things, and we being so big cannot do even 10% of it. My God, a small computer, how fast it works. So, have you ever thought of finding it out? Have you ever thought of finding it out? How it works? The moment you feel like finding out, Gary, such a small computer, how does it do so many things? You are being curious. This is being curious, and this quality, curiosity, is the basic, is the basis, forms the basis of one's must form. It does not form, but it must form the basis of one's learning. You know, now, must form the basis of one's learning. Why should we be curious? Why should we be curious? Curious? Oh my God. If human beings, long back, had not been curious, I can't imagine. We would not have been able, we really would not have been able to get things we are using today or lead a life that we are leading today. Nobody would have thought of making a fan. Nobody would have thought of making a cooler or then AC. And barely, we used to have landline phones. Those phones would not have been there. Only when people became curious, from landline phone, it became a cordless phone, then a simple mobile, then a smartphone, and I don't know how many changes have taken place since then. How many changes have taken? You cannot even count. If the early human being had not been curious, would not have discovered fire or a potter's wheel, the world would not have made a progress. We wouldn't have been getting these clothing, lovely fancy clothes that we wear to parties, would not have been there. Remember, have you ever seen how did the primitive man or the early man live? Oh my God, we would have been living just like that. We really would have been living just like that in the jungles, wearing lions' hide and eating raw flesh without cooking. Oh my God, I can't even think of. Okay. So we should be curious if we want to make developments. If we want to develop, we should be curious. Okay. Now, I tell you how curiosity helps us. Researchers, people who make researches, they keep doing developments in the labs, they do a lot of surveys, they find out things. They have found out that curiosity makes our brains more ready for learning. First thing, more ready for learning, and also as we learn, we enjoy that learning. Do you like to only study just because mama is saying or ma'am is saying? I'm sure no. So that is one thing. We must enjoy whatever we are doing. So when we learn, when we study, because we are curious to find out, ma'am, how does it work? All the science assess me. Ma'am keeps telling this happens, this is how it happens. So you should try to ask ma'am, how does it happen? Why does it happen like this? Why? Like, how do we move up? How do we move down? How our brain muscles work? So, if we are curious, we explore. We find out new things. When we explore, we discover. When we find out new things, we discover new things. When we discover, that is very satisfying. It gives us a satisfaction. Oh, I realized this. I understood this. That gives me a satisfaction. And when this kind of satisfaction comes, we try to do things again and again. We try to do things repeatedly. And definitely when we do things repeatedly, we become proficient. We become very good at it. And this helps in gaining knowledge, and we become more skillful. We learn new skills. Only when we become knowledgeable that we will develop our skills. So this is why being curious is important. That will only help you to explore, to develop, to become knowledgeable, and to become proficient. Now, why? Do you realize? Your brain likes curiosity. Your brain likes curiosity. What do you mean by brain likes curiosity? Two things go with it. Number one, curiosity prepares the brain for learning. When you're curious, your brain gets ready. Then your brain gets ready for learning new things, learning a lot of things. You develop a lot of interest into things. And curiosity makes learning more rewarding. First thing, it develops the brain for learning. And when your brain is ready to learn and you learn things, that is more rewarding. You remember it for a longer time. See what happens. What do you mean by it? It is more rewarding. The researchers have found out that curiosity not only helps us to learn or remember the things, but it gives us a lot of pleasure. It gives us a lot of pleasure. What kind of pleasure? What is this pleasure? And pleasure is happiness. Do you feel happy when you eat an ice cream? Or does your mother feel happy when she gets a lot of money? When she can shop a lot? So this kind of happiness, fun, maza aa gaya. This kind of happiness comes when you learn things with curiosity. This kind of happiness comes when we learn, when we understand things with a curious mind. Okay, children. So this is why it is important to have a curious mind. Only when we have a curious mind, our brain gets prepared for learning more, and learning becomes a very rewarding experience for us. It helps us a lot. It. So what do you uh, what do we have to remember now? Curiosity prepares the brain for learning, and curiosity makes learning more rewarding. Okay, just revise with me. Curiosity prepares the brain for learning, and curiosity makes learning more rewarding. Now, next is you have an activity on page 28. You have an activity on page 28 of your Learn to Lead book. Learn to Lead book है ना सबके पास? Lesson number 6. You have to do this activity. It's a fun activity. आप घर में easily you can do, very easily you can do. You have to take a container, fill it with water, not with cold water, no, mama will shout. So just fill with some water. Take a glass, put a napkin inside that glass, and you have to submerge this glass into this water container, and you'll see the napkin will not get wet. Then you have to find out why. How come the glass was put into the water, still the napkin was not wet? So this you have to be curious and find out. And then you have a survey to do on page number, on page number 24. Sorry children, it's not 44, it is 24. You have a survey to do. You have to meet people, find out the name of the person, the type of job he does, like whether they're a teacher or engineer or a doctor or a CA or anything. Then you have to find out why are they working like this? What makes them work every day? Can we do anything repeatedly day by day after day after day after day? No. But still we do it. Why? This you have to find out from there. And then you have to find out whatever they are doing, how is it impacting their family? उसका family पे उसका क्या effect हो रहा है? This you have to find out from them. Okay children? Now, lastly, I'll not give a long lecture. I know you must not be liking very long lectures. So always I'll just ask you to be very, very curious always and enjoy your learning. Be very, very curious and enjoy your learning. And when we meet, are you curious to know when will the schools reopen? Are you curious to know? Even I am. Even I want to know when will the schools reopen. And when we meet, you're going to tell me. I'll be curious to know that what all did you do during this lockdown when you were at home. I'm very curious to know from all of you. Okay, children? Enjoy this chapter, read it, try a lot of new things, being curious, and share your experiences with us. Okay? Bye bye.